send it back to us next week. We have to go over it line item by line item. We have already had several meetings where we have interviewed department heads.
Government is a very labor-intensive organization, so if you're going to find any significant savings, it has to be directed at salary reductions, salary cuts, or modifications. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's what we're dealing with here. So if we're going to get any significant savings, and right now we're looking at a budget deficit of about $14 million in change, we need to come up with significant reductions. And the only place to get it, unfortunately, is either cutting salaries or cutting the salary increases. As Commissioner Eckert mentioned, we're looking at an economic environment which is very dismal. Many of you may already know this, but the latest statistics are in the Lehigh Valley there is approximately 50,000 people that are laid off with no job. Not a job with pay increases, no job at all. And I was thinking about this the other day. Stabler Arena holds about 6,000 people. If we were to put all the people who were laid off, we would fill up Stabler Arena 8 times with people who don't have a job.
And we have, in my opinion, treated our non-union employees less fairly than we should, primarily because they're the easy ones to go after. For example, in 2010, we had roughly half of our non-union employees who got a 1.5% increase, and the other half got a 2.5% general increase, compared to their union counterparts, who everyone, with the exception of the sheriff's deputies, everyone received a 4% general increase. We also have the step system. Since 2008, the non-union employees have been receiving a 3% step increase, while their union counterparts have been receiving a 5% step increase. With the net effect, if you look at the 2010 budget, we have roughly half of our union employees who received a 5% step increase and a 4% general increase, for a total of 9%. Meanwhile, our non-union employees, because they are handy and we can go after them, are the ones that bear the brunt of our cost cutting. I think it's time to change that. I've got several amendments later on that we will consider where we try to redress this and balance things out between the non-union and union employees, but I don't think it's appropriate for us to try to balance the budget at this point in time by cutting the salary of our non-union employees.
My name is Wayne Woodman. I'm here both as a taxpayer and as the chair of the County Republican Party. I would like to make a couple of comments. First, to the point that was raised by the administration. I don't know how many money-losing companies were in that survey, but I don't know of any money-losing companies that are giving raises anywhere. So that's my first point. Second of all, taxes may be the price of a civilized society, Commissioner Hansel, but another Supreme Court justice said that pornography is something you'll know when you see it, and it's obscene to raise taxes in an environment like this. So anything that can be done to minimize the burden on taxpayers who have gone through a misery that this government doesn't seem to wish to go through itself is a benefit to this county. Third of all, the growth of wages in this county from 1990 to now is 155%. So if the workforce is the same and wages are 155% higher, I'd like to ask other members of this group in this room, how many of you have seen your wages nearly triple in the last 20 years? I don't know of many. So I would argue that all the sleight of hand that government would like to use with its finances will not overcome that fact. And it is the rise of collective bargaining units in this county that have squeezed this budget and crowded out other programs.
I also work at Lehigh County Agency on Aging and Adult Services, and we are one of the non-union bargaining units. And last year we only received a 1.5 wage increase, and this year it's proposed at 2%. And I would hope we could keep that set at 2%. Because we are serving the fastest growing aging population in America. We're the fastest growing population. Every year we receive more referrals than we had the previous year, and it's well known throughout our agency that many of us work overtime frequently just to get the work done and to serve the needs of the aging population in our community. And many of the people at our office really are kind of upset that the union workers do get a 4% increase. We only are proposed at 2%. So if you take that away from us, you're just going to have more union employees.
There are a lot of senior citizens on fixed income. They haven't even gotten the Social Security increase in the last couple of years. Yet, the property taxes go up, the municipality taxes go up, and it's really being a crush on the senior citizens. They worked all their lives to make sure they paid off their mortgage. They got it paid off. Now they could lose their homes.
I've been a union member for 20 years. But sitting here listening to the commission and talking about, well, the 2% and the non-union get and the union guys get more. I'm gonna make it easier. Let's make everybody union. They'll get more money.
Republican committee person there, as well as a Tea Party member. But most and foremost, I'm a citizen. And I was laid off along with several other people about a year ago. Working part-time where I can, and you know, getting by like I can. And every job I look at, I'm looking at a very severe pay cut. I'm not going to find anything making near what I was making before.
School taxes this year went up $200. I went to that board meeting and said about the seniors, where did they find the money? They said, well, it averages $100. Well, $100 to you may not seem like a lot, but for somebody on a fixed income, it could be everything. We have to budget ourselves.